Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back into this idea of accidents or miracles or unusual happenings and things, and the messages that we learn from these things. Sometimes we don't learn the message. As a matter of fact, probably 99.9% of the time, we don't learn the message. We just sort of slough it off and go on about our business as if nothing had happened. Well, one time, let me give you a personal example here. Several years ago, I met these people who owned a jewelry store. And I'd lived in another town. When I moved to the town where they were, one day I thought, well, I'll just go by and say hello to them. You know, they had become friends. Well, when I got there, they were not there, but their clerk, the person that actually ran, did the work in the store, was there. It was a black lady named Lois. And so I walked on in, and I noticed she looked at me kind of funny. And I had never seen her. She had never seen me. She didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was. And the first thing, it was one of those strange experiences where you feel like you've known this person all of your life. And so we began to talk, and the first, I'm there. God's my deal. That's what I do. And we began to talk, and she said, well, she said, I have this thing on my hand, and I just wonder if God would take that away. Well, I've had some strange situations to come up, and I said, well, let's pray. And now this thing was big. It stood way up. It's a hideous looking thing. So I just put my hand on it and prayed for it, and when I removed my hand, it was gone. When I took away my hand, the thing was gone. Well, you can imagine that effect on her. Well, the first thing you know, I'm teaching the Bible to the black community. She lived in a black neighborhood, and one night each week I'd go to her house, and they would come in. They'd fill her living room, and I'd get to teach them. Well, there's the miracle. Why did I go there? Why was she there when I was there? Why did we have such a good communication? Why did God perform that miracle on her? Well, very simple. Because she told people about me, invited me over, and the first thing you know, we're having church. I mean, we had probably 8, 10, 15 people there at a time. Well, sometimes people show up and you wonder why they're there. This man and a woman showed up, black couple. They were probably in their early 50s, maybe late 40s, and I liked them. They were very personable people. And again, I probably told you this story. Bear with me, but you kind of got the impression, what are they doing here? I don't know. But anyhow, one day the Lord said, I didn't know he was an alcoholic. The Lord said, you tell him if he doesn't quit drinking, I'm going to kill him. Now, I think I've told you this. Well, I told him. And oh, yes, I know, yeah. Well, about 2 or 3 weeks later, he dropped dead. He didn't learn. He didn't believe, you see. Well, it cost him his life. So what I'm saying is that first little miracle, look what it's caused now. It's the Lord is speaking. See, he's telling us something. Well, when I first moved to this town, I began writing newspaper articles, and one day I got a call. And again, please forgive me if I've told you this, so I'll cut it short. I got a call, and this young lady said, we've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you to come to this town. Said there are about 24 of us, maybe more, that have been waiting for God to send a minister to this town. And they had been traveling about 25, 30 miles on Saturday to another place. And the fellow, according to her, the pastor just browbeat them. He was just mean to them, talked down to them, And of course, my question was, what are you doing there? don't go back. I go, you don't need a pastor. You need God. But anyhow, it's a big, oh, we've read your newspaper articles. You are the one God has sent. Well, I knew that. That's the way God operates. That's how he sets up a pastor or a minister in a town or an area. He sends that person in or raises that person up, and then those who are truly seeking God will come to that person. Now, sometimes nobody will come to that person. I was here probably 15 years before anybody ever came and said, I believe you're the one. Well, we were here, and here are these people. They said, we've already got a place set up for you to meet so you can teach us. Well, being naive, I thought, boy, this is great. This is going to happen. Well, here's what happened. This girl said, I'd like to come, and said, do you have meetings? I said, yeah, I'll have there are 2 or 3 of us meet at my home on Saturday morning, God's Sabbath. And she said, I'd like to come. I said, okay. And I arranged to meet her at a service station near my home. Well, as soon as I hung up the phone, God showed me a vision of her. And the vision was a little young lady, probably late 20s, a little round, cute little face, and pink hair. Pink hair. And so when I met her, I rolled down the window, and she rolled her window down, and there she was. I would have picked her out of a crowd, and I'd never seen her before. First the face, but then the pink hair. That's a miracle, okay? Well, it gets deeper than this. So we went to the house, and we were sitting around, and I gave a message, and she said, this is going to be great. So we can't wait. We're just really anxious for you to come and start teaching us on a regular basis. And so she came back, brought her husband the next time, and later she said, after listening to you, he quit smoking. Well, I didn't say anything about smoking, but I guess the Lord just convicted him anyhow. So I thought things were really going. In my naivete, I saw visions of grandeur. I thought, man, I got me a congregation and people really want to hear the Word of God. But then she asked the question. She said, well, what do you think about speaking in tongues? I said, well, it's biblical. Paul said, he wished all of us would speak in tongues. And he spoke in tongues more than all of us. She said, well, my sister believes it's of the devil. I never saw her again. Never came back, never had a phone call, never heard from the people. I did see her one time at the post office, and we just ignored each other. But what I'm saying is, the miracle, the pink hair, the vision, the everything, those are miracles. What was the message of God? I have sent my man to Athens, Texas. Join him. Listen to him. He will tell you my truth. What was the outcome? They refused. Because they refused to believe the Word of God. It wasn't my word. It's right there in Corinthians. You see? But they wouldn't believe it. Never saw hiding their hair of them again. So I don't know what they're doing. I know this, they're not serving God. Now, why then the miracles? You read all the time. You've read about them, you've seen them on television. Movies are made of people receiving, bona fide, miracly proven, biblically proven, medically proven miracles. What is the message, but then what is the outcome? Every time, with no exception. And I've read about a lot of them. I've seen them on television. My wife watches the movies. I sit in there with her. I don't pay much attention to it because I know what's going to happen. People will actually miraculously be healed of of incurable diseases and all kinds of limbs grown back and eyes, blind eyes made to see, and all kinds of things that God promised in His Word. Why? Why? Well, the common concept is it's to show people that they need to get more religious, that they're on the right track. They just need to stay on that track more and go back to church more and believe what they believe more and to go tell other people more about the miracle and get them to go the direction they're going. See, when you say that God performed a miracle for me, well, it must be because I'm in the right group or I'm on the right track. No. In fact, it means the opposite. This is God speaking to you, saying, get in my word. Get in my word. I've performed a miracle for you. Go to my word and learn more about me. And if they do, they will get out of that religious organization and follow Him, which is what He wants us to do. But that's not what happens. When people receive a miracle from God, they will just get more religious. They will just do more of what they've been doing. And they'll give God credit. But then they'll turn right around and keep going in the direction they're going, which is the exact opposite of God. He's saying, come out of there. Come out and come up to where I am spiritually. But they don't come up, they go out. And they will teach to these people, talk to these people, make a movie out of this and a book out of that. And it all looks like this is all happening because they're in this particular religious sphere. That's not what God's given the miracle for. The miracle is to come out of that and come up to where He is. Nobody does that. Nobody decides, I need to know more about God. I need to study the Bible more. No, it's I need to go be more religion. I need to go do what the church tells me to do more of it. I need to go tell these people over here. I need to go bear witness over here. There are people who go all over the country telling about their experience, their miraculous experience, and point right back to the church, right back to the religion that they're involved in. And they'll say, oh, it doesn't matter whether you're Catholic or Protestant, whether you're this or that or something else. Just keep doing what you're doing, only do more of it. Be more focused on what you're doing. That's not what God says. God says, come out. He says, get out of there, come up to where I am spiritually. Well, that's the message of the miracles, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reason we have the miracles in the Bible. Is the reason we have the miracles today. Is to call us up to where God is, not to tell us to keep doing what we're doing, or to do more of it, which is what people do. Therefore, the miracles go for nothing. In the spiritual realm, those miracles are a waste of God's time because people don't change. They just get more of what they are. They get more religious. They don't get more spiritual. In fact, they get less spiritual because you assume that you're right, you're on the right track because look what God did for you. Well, yeah, He wants you to do more of that. He wants you to go to church 3 times a week instead of 2. But that's not why God performs the miracles. Well, until next time, you know what you're supposed to do. Study the Word of God.